How's it going again? We're back with Worship Tutorials with another Pod HD500x patch for you guys. Today we got a Dr. Z modeled amp. It is the PhD Motorway. Many of you who have had Line 6 gear know that and love it. We're just going to go over what that is today. So what I was playing at that start, I had pre-looped it for you guys. It was just the amp, the volume, reverb, and a little bit of, let's see, the preamp EQ that I love to put on stuff. Just gives it a little bit of clarity. So I have first the volume pedal, which is true to volume that it will have trails, because on this setting you will definitely need trails. So here we go. Then I have that EQ going into my facial fuzz, which I played over the top of the rhythm guitar, which, by the way, was just the amp. It's set a little dirtier, so I can have that nice dug-in sound, and if I want to clean it up, it cleans up perfectly. But that facial fuzz, it's very Lincoln Brewster inspired by him. He uses a lot of that on a lot of his solos. Moving along, we have delay, quarter note, and going into that, we have dotted eighth delay. Yes, you expected it, and you got it, because I love dotted eighth. Going into particle verb, into octoverb. The particle verb is kind of like a pad sound. It lays down a thick modulation, and the octoverb is basically a shimmer verb. It does wonders. It's very beautiful. You can dial it in great. And then, of course, the amp, the PhD Motorway. Going into a 63 spring reverb. It's very light reverb. So I'll go ahead and show you what just the amp and preamp EQ sounds like with the spring reverb on. We are in the middle pickup position between the humbucker and single coil pickup on a Mexican-made Fender Telecaster. So that is just the amp, and I guess I'll turn on the facial fuzz for you and play a little bit of something that I wrote a few years back. I'm just kidding, but I'll for sure show you what it does. So here we go. With the facial fuzz on, of course, I'll show you what it does. That was with a little bit of delay added in there so you could hear what it really sounds like. It sounds okay without delay, but with the delay it really sustains and really has those elongated notes. Here's the quarter note delay, and here's what it sounds like. Very, very kind of modulated at the end. I love it. It sounds wonderful with the dotted eighth. Again, on this, I rarely use just the quarter note. It is just quarter note and dotted eighth together to add that really thick kind of sound. It's pretty much on every patch I have, I will have that. But I will be making some patches a little bit more versatile, not just to me, but for you guys. So here we go. So it has a nice, very little subtle. So we're gonna tap into the dotted eighth delay. So here we go. With the quarter note delay here, we'll see what it sounds like. So as you can tell, it does muddy it up a little bit with that quarter note in there, but the reason why I truly have it is to have that modulated, heavy modulation towards the end of it for these reverbs. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some reverb, because I love reverb. So here's some particle verb. If you don't know what it is, be prepared to have a wild time. Okay, ready? Holy Spirit! That's what that is. That's what it should be called, not particle verb. Holy Spirit. Here is some octoverb, or better known as shimmer. So I have this set a little darker because I don't really like that digital, too much of a digital sound. So it's really running kind of darker, and the shimmer kind of fades in towards the end. They sound terrible when you just hit it like that, but I wanted to give you a second to really understand how much reverb is on it. So here we go. We're going to turn on the reverbs, delays, and be prepared to have your mind literally blown. Literally. Here we go. As it's still going on, let's just take a moment, bask, reflect on what we just heard. No, I absolutely love reverb, and so it sounds wonderful. If you really want to get crazy and do some high notes, you turn on that facial fuzz with everything on. And like I said, if you want to get crazy, do not be sitting there during your middle of your worship set with everything on, playing a G chord. It's going to sound terrible, okay? So if you want to play something in the key of G, we'll play a high G up here. We'll swell it in for you, and then you do that. You don't sit down here hanging out on a G with everything on, okay? Here we go. It's still going. And it's amazing. If you really want to get creative, turn your volume all the way up like it is. Turn your tone all the way down like it usually isn't. Then do some swells. Flip it to your darkest pickup. Flip that all the way off and then get wild. Turn the volume up. Let that ring out. So this setting, this patch, is very versatile in the fact that you can have a really, really nice rhythm sound. Then you can have a really nice lead sound. Not necessarily for like lead lines like you would do on Our Great God from New Spring, but like more solo, like Lincoln Brewster kind of stuff. Then you have your swell stuff for if you need to do spiritual directions during the service time, or just any time during anything. You have a really thick pad sound with that octo reverb and particle verb. It's amazing. I've dialed it back to where I like it. You can dial any of these to where you want, but I suggest that you start with just the EQs on the amp. And then you go to the facial fuzz. Basically, the facial fuzz is just up. And there's really not many other EQs other than that than the preamp EQ, but that's set pretty good so you can have that clarity. But if you guys have any questions, head over to worshiptutorials.com. We will have what buttons are what up there. And like always, we have it up there for free for you. But if you feel like you need to give a tip or donation, we will greatly accept those. But if you don't want to give that, just type in 0 in the field, and you have your wonderful new Dr. Z or PhD Motorway patch. So enjoy it as much as I do, and have a good day.